Okay, I'm excited for my next video. This one we're going to be actually diving more into React. That's less well-known territory for me, so I will be relying on Claude even more, I think. The goal at the end of this is just to be able to pull out the information that the user has input into the form that I created in the last video. So that destination, that start date, and that end date. I know we're going to have to use some state variables from some reading I've done and create some functions to do that. But really, I don't know the details. So I'm going to start by asking Claude for an example. Let's see how well Claude understands that question. Okay, so here's the form. And I'm going to say, let's start with this. So on submit, the action is going to be handle submit, which is this function right here. So I can start with that. So on submit equals handle submit. And then we will create a function, handle submit, takes the event and prevent default. I don't know what that means. I'll ask Claude in just a minute. And let's do this. Let's just do console log logging my first submit event. Okay, let's see if that works. Now let's hit submit and logging my first submit event. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. So then I think the next thing we want to do is get the input from the destination input. And to do that, let's do this. Let's create a little more space here. Okay, so we are going to have, let's do this, on change, we will do handle, we're gonna have multiple changes here, so I'm gonna call this handle destination. And then that is going to be another function. Okay, so we're gonna have to create this use state here. It looks like they've done it as some sort of, I guess that's a JavaScript object. I'm just going to do them independently for now. So const, I guess this would be destination, and then set destination is equal to use state, and then the default is just going to be an empty string. Okay. So then we need to create a function that handles destination on change. So it looks like e dot target contains the name and the value. Okay. So let's do this. Set destination and e dot target dot, can I just get the value out of that? And then let's do, need some semicolons. Okay. Let's try to do console.log destination. I don't think this is quite right, but let's give it a try. It looks like we have an error. Okay. Use state is not defined. Oh, we probably need to import it. Yep, okay. Import, I think we can just do use state from React. From React. Oops. Oh, use state. Okay, now we are back up and running. So if I start typing here, let's say I want to go to Denver. Oh, okay. It is working. Okay. So let's do this. We don't need to log the destination each character we type, but we can do it. Let's do it on submit. So we will console.log the destination when they hit submit. Okay, so let's say now I want to go to Las Vegas, and I will hit submit, and it is logging it. Okay, one thing I actually want to practice then is how do I like concatenate strings? So I think it's your destination and an offset like that. Or do I need a $sign in front of it? No, that's not right. Okay, let's ask Claude. Oh, this was the one I wanted. Oh, okay, so we do, I don't know what the name of that is, like the accent key, and then it would be like your destination colon dollar curly bracket, then your variable, so destination. Okay, let's try that. So now let's say you're going to Miami. Your destination Miami. Okay, it's concatenating that string. Cool. So the next thing I need to do is the same thing for the start date and end date. Well, let me just try first. So let's do const start date set start date is equal to use state, and then we will handle start date, and date is e.target.value. I need to hook that up to the actual input. So with, let me do the same thing I did before just to make this more readable. So on change is equal to handle start date. Okay, so let's log the start date on change. So console.log start date. Okay, so going to Miami. So first let's see if it works if I'm typing. So let's say I'm going there September 1st. So 09/01/2024. 2024. So it is logging, but it only was doing it when I completed the date, but maybe that's not a problem. Let me refresh. Okay, let's say we're going to Seattle, and then let's say I use the selector, so September 1st. So that did not appear to register. Okay, let's do this. We'll also log the start date, see if it has anything. Okay, so let's refresh this. Let's go to Portland. I'm running out of ideas of where to go. Okay, let's say I'm going there August 28th. And then let's submit that. Okay, yeah, it did get it. I don't really understand why the console isn't logging, but it's got the correct date for the start date. Okay, so I'm gonna remove that. And then let's do the same thing now for end date. Const end date, set end date, use state, start empty, and then it's really going to be very similar to this. So this is going to be end date, and then end date, and then we need to hook this up. Okay, so on change, we are going to handle end date. Okay, and then let's log all three of these. Just copy this. End date. End date. I'm not going to need this anymore. Okay. So let's say we are going to Atlanta on September 1st. So I'll do that one with the selector, and let me type this one out. Say I'm going to September 10th, 2024. Okay, and then submit. Looks like it worked. Destination's Atlanta, start date, end date. Okay. let's do this. One more little thing. I want to display that information here instead of in the console. I don't actually know how to do that. So in React, how do I change the content of, let's say, a div with a function? Oh, okay, so another state. Okay, so let's do this. Const trip details, set trip details. This time let's use a default use state no trip details. Okay, and then we will, below the form, just create a simple div with the trip details. So if I save that, that's just a warning that I used it, and now we have this div here, no trip details. Okay, great. So then what we can do is, instead of logging all of this, we can set the trip details. Okay. So set trip details, and I'm going to concatenate here your trip to destination starts, start date, and ends, end date. Okay, I think that should work now. So let's say we are going to New York City, and we are going on October 1st and coming back on Halloween, and we submit that. Your trip to New York starts the 1st of October and ends the 31st of October. That's perfect. I think I'll call that good for this first video of actually diving into React and setting up some logic. Relatively straightforward, pretty excited because now that we are able to access this information from the form, we should be able to start making the API calls to get the weather data we need pretty easily, and I think we'll probably start doing that in the next video.